Welcome back to ANC's Halalan 2013 coverage. 33 candidates, only 12 spots. Today, Filipinos decide who they believe deserves a Senate seat. Coco Alcuaz looks at the possible composition of the 16th Senate and what this could mean for the 2016 presidential race.
If the latest April 20 to 22 Pulse Asia survey is right, the winners will look like this. With these candidates vying for the last slots. If Jack Enrile makes it, 6 seats, or 1/4 of the Senate, could be controlled by 3 families: the Enriles, the Cayetanos, and the Ejercito Estradas. Professors Nicole Curato and Julio Teehankee say there are fewer and fewer Senate newcomers without family ties to an incumbent.
Our democracy has always been set up to be exclusionary. We'd had a moment of opening with post-EDSA. What's interesting in this election is that we see a lot of kids of post-EDSA heroes replacing their parents, and that's an interesting phenomenon we have to watch out for. How long will that keep going for generations? They talk about political brands.
The composition of the Senate is usually reflective of the composition of the elites in society. Back in the colonial era, it was dominated by landlords. Then in the post-war era, lawyers, and then later on technocrats. But if what we're seeing right now is the sudden surge of clans. A family name is now considered a brand name in the electoral arena.
There is another phenomenon in the 16th Senate. At least 5 of the likely brands there have a direct stake in 2016. A vice president running for president, a former president who wants one of his sons to be president, or at least vice president, and a president who wants to cement his legacy. The Cayetanos are probably thinking of moving from the Senate to the presidential vice presidential field. And the Villars could be thinking of how to get some of the power they were counting on in 2010. How much they put their interests in 2013 ahead of national interest will determine what President Aquino will be able to add to his legislative legacy after RH and sin taxes, and what investigations the Senate will pursue against possible 2016 presidential candidates. The kind of investigations that helped damage the early frontrunner in the 2010 elections, Matt Villar.
Yes. So they're proxies, right? So they will be standing in for the main contenders for the 2016 election. It is a narrative between the so-called reformist, yellow narrative of President Aquino, the anti-corruption, middle-class, good governance narrative, versus the pro-poor, populist narrative of Erap Estrada and, of course, Vice President Lina. If you look at it, it is ironic that the president appears to be the winner, but for the first time in at least in post-Marcos Philippine politics, the ruling party appears to be not the winner. Here, you have a situation in which the Liberal Party did not build itself into a formidable ruling party.
Teehankee points out that while most Team Pinoy bets may win, only one of its likely winners is an LP member. That will mean just 4 LP members in the Senate. Possibly not enough to wrest the Senate presidency from Una and take full control of the agenda heading into 2016. Coco Alcuaz, ABS-CBN.